the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Metro service reduced. What WMATA is saying today that could impact your commute. And later, remembering a civil rights icon, how people across the DMV are celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And after a pretty frigid start to the day, things are turning out quite nicely out there. But when are we expecting some light rain to move into the picture? We'll have a look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Thank you, Damon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the News at Noon. I'm Mark Hall. This afternoon, DC News Now is learning more about the unexpected meeting yesterday at Metro headquarters. The transit agency's top leaders had to carve out time from their Sunday afternoon to hold what they called an emergency executive board session. The announcement raised a lot of eyebrows as to what could be going on, and just moments ago, we got an answer. DC News Now's Joseph Omo covers transportation for us. He's joining us live in the newsroom. Joseph, what was the meeting all about?
Hey, Mark, good afternoon to you. So the meeting was essentially Metro responding to a bunch of allegations, a big report from the agency that oversees Metro and what they do and how safe they are. I want to get to that stuff in a second, but first let's focus on the biggest impact for riders. The blue, orange, and silver lines, which are coupled together throughout the majority of the system. Trains normally run 15 minutes, every 15 minutes on the blue, orange, and silver lines. Starting tomorrow through at least the end of this week, trains are going to be running every 25 minutes on those three lines, straight through the middle of Metro's system. The reason why? Because Metro has to take 50 of their rail operators out of commission for a couple of days, so that way they can get retrained. And coming up tonight on DC News Now at 5 p.m., we're going to go a little bit deeper into this fight between Metro and the Washington Metro Rail Safety Commission and why they are butting heads on so many different areas when it comes to essential safety on the Metro system. Mark, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Joseph Omo live in the newsroom. Thank you, Joseph. An Alabama men's basketball player and another man have been charged with capital murder in connection with the shooting near campus that killed a 23-year-old woman. Junior forward Darius Miles was jailed on Sunday night and dismissed from the team soon after. He was raised right here in Washington, D.C. Tuscaloosa police have not said who fired the gun. And teachers in Virginia had their voices heard today on Lobby Day, asking lawmakers for more funding for public schools. The Virginia Education Association held a rally at 9 this morning at the Bell Tower in Richmond. The VEA says the money would help public schools deal with staff shortages and lack of classroom resources. The organization also wants lawmakers to provide them with the $366 million it would take to fund the standards of quality, which are staffing standards that all schools in the state have to provide. Now, they're also calling on lawmakers to raise teacher salaries by 11% this year. Well, in our schools, Frederick County Public Schools are seeing growth. Officials say that they're up 3,600 students in the past 2 years. That's why a $933 million budget was proposed, and they say that more students means more money. The FCPS superintendent says that more than $50 million of the recommended budget accounts for the increased cost of operating a school system while inflation remains high.
As we grow, we do not want to see cracks in our foundation. The path forward simply requires more teachers, more custodians, more bus drivers, more cafeteria workers, more school counselors.
And this is the first step in the process of finalizing the school's proposed budget. The Board of Education will hold a public hearing for input on the new budget. That's coming up February 1st. It kicks off at 7 p.m. at Frederick High School. And that's not the only new addition to the inauguration proceedings. Excuse me, check this out. Moore has announced that he will be sworn in using two Bibles that says are very special to him. He'll use Frederick Douglass's Bible and his grandfather's. Douglass was born enslaved in Eastern Maryland, and he became a prominent activist, author, and public speaker when he escaped slavery. Moore's grandfather was the first black minister in the history of the Dutch Reformed Church. He says his grandfather taught him to have faith and not fear. Moore will be the first black governor of Maryland when he's sworn in on Wednesday. Well, looking ahead to this week, on Wednesday, Maryland will swear in its governor, but officials say that there will be precautions in place at the inauguration ceremony. About 14,000 COVID-19 test kits will be handed out to people attending the event. The state will also offer free antigen and PCR COVID tests at its testing site in Annapolis. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, Republicans now want the visitor logs to President Biden's Delaware home in order to find out who may have had access to those classified documents. Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon takes a closer look.
The investigation into whether President Joe Biden mishandled classified documents is growing.
I want to know who knew what and when. Were sources and methods compromised?
The hypocrisy here is great. We're very concerned about a lack of transparency.
Republican lawmakers are upset in part because the first discovery of classified documents happened before the midterm elections.
Well, we don't know exactly yet whether they broke the law or not. I will accuse the Biden administration of not being transparent. Why didn't we hear about this on November 2nd?
And Republicans say the situation is being handled very differently than when it was discovered former President Trump had classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and the FBI conducted a raid. Democrats say part of the reason the situation is being handled differently is because President Biden and his team are handling it differently than Trump, who didn't willingly hand over the classified material.
The president and his administration are cooperating. And they should continue to cooperate. Nobody's above the law.
President Biden said he instructed his team to conduct a search after the first classified document was found, and that's when more documents were discovered in Delaware.
It's an embarrassment, no doubt about it. Is there more to it? I doubt it, but we'll find out from the special counsel.
Well, happening now, people across the DMV are walking during the 42nd annual Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Parade. The parade is a symbol of the need to continue the work of Dr. King's dream. DC News Now's Katie Reed joins us live with more. Katie, how's it out there?
Good afternoon, Mark. Now, as you can hear around me, it is absolutely electric. People are cheering. There's been go-go dancers, there has been double Dutch steppers, there's been bands, and there have been adorable kids, and a ton of floats. Also, people holding signs saying, "Equality, I have a dream." We're going to spin the camera now. There's about to start the parade again, and now we have members of the armed forces marching towards us. People here are lining the streets and have been down along Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, southeast. They've been here since as early as 9:30, 10 o'clock since we got here. And now obviously you see this going by. But as you can hear also in the distance, there's some go-go dancers and some marching bands. People of all ages are out here. Parents out here with their kids. And so what we're going to do is also later on today, I'm going to have a report. I've been talking to parents and kids out here as to why today is important to them. Obviously, they're out here on the parade route, and hopefully you can hear them. There is some go-go dancers that are coming around the corner. I don't know if they'll make it into this hit, but hopefully we'll be able to show you more later on tonight at 5 and 6. But for now, reporting live in Anacostia, Katie Ray, DC News Now.